Going live, going live, going live.
We're live. We did it.
Live.
It feels like it's been a while.
I know.
Welcome back.
Because here's a shocker. We recorded the Farscape episode 2 weeks ago and just held it for a week, and hopefully you guys enjoyed that.
Behind the scenes things that happened.
Because someone was not in the States.
Grace had to get the fuck out of town before school started.
Get out of Dodge.
Because school has been in session officially for me 3 days, and I am already behind. And mind you, I've been doing homework every day, but I've hit senior level classes. Oh. It's really fun because I get the torture because I go to school part-time while I work full-time. I get the joy of being a senior for 2 years.
Yeah. So that also just means senioritis is going to last longer.
Yeah. So it's like the work, the quantity and quality of the work expected is insane. But yeah.
And we have all the windows open, so we're basically in a greenhouse today. So please pardon the sweating and dying.
It's hot times.
Yeah. Why do we have the windows open? Don't know.
It's the end of summer and we're celebrating.
No, listen. Right? Summer lasts for about 10 months here.
Yeah. Yeah. We get a fall.
We have plenty more months.
We have a little bit of a fall at the end of October, I feel like. Sometimes
we have a fall like in December.
Well, yeah. We get an actual like winter for like a week if we're lucky.
If we're lucky. Because
remember, there was a time when we had temperatures in like the 40s.
And then Nixie, as the knitter that she is, wears all of her knitted wear in that 1 week.
She's Dobby, guys.
She's Dobby.
She turns into Dobby.
I have showed up before, and basically the only thing that I'm wearing that I have not knitted is like a skirt. But then I've also made that, and I have like a thin sweater on with like a cardigan over it with a hat on, and I have knit
slow fashion
knit socks, and I have like mitts on, and I'm just like I'm dying of heat exhaustion.
But damn,
however, I'm wearing and a shawl usually too. Yeah. Okay. Anything else for the video streams?
Yes. One. This is all me. I fell behind on the pod card, but it's coming this week.
Podcard's coming.
And Farscape.
Yes.
Cardcast will be coming.
Okay, so for those of you who did enjoy last week's Farscape and wants to listen to Grace go through Farscape, it's hard to get. Guys.
Oh, guys, it is not easy to find.
However,
I checked our local libraries. I checked my school library. I checked domestic partner Jesse's school library. I checked Amazon, Hulu, Netflix.
It's hard to find unless you want to pay a lot of money for it.
Yeah. And it's like the other thing is you can only buy it in its complete set for like $120.
Yeah.
Yowza.
And we were going to use podcast funds, but we have other things that we were trying to save those for.
Oh, yeah.
Information coming later.
So we have a really cool connection.
Good friend of the pod.
Yes.
Good friend of the pod. Your friend and mine, Sue, who has been on the pod.
Miss Sue.
Who, it's not really a mystery. Not really a mystery, is my mother.
Yeah.
Happens to have all of
our call her Mama Sue.
Mama Sue.
Mama Sue.
Mama Sue. Happens to have them all on DVD. So I am going up to Mother's house in November, and I am confiscating temporarily the Farscape DVDs. And she will get them back at that large event that all the family is coming to in early next year.
Just a thing.
Just a thing.
So the Farscape Cardcast will wait a bit, but they're coming.
They're coming. And I'm also going to watch Battlestar and do Battlestar Cardcast on that as well. I don't know if I'm going to quite wait until you get Farscape.
Okay.
But I do have another thing I'm trying to watch before then. So then we don't have time to do full podcasts like this on Farscape, but we did want to.
Well, and we don't want to take Stargate from anybody who's here for the Stargate.
Exactly. So we are still doing podcasts-ish, Cardcasts, on both Battlestar and Farscape, and they will be just for you, Patreon people.
And I do have a viewing buddy that's gonna watch Farscape with me, so there may be guests.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I don't know if I've decided to invite them or not. Yeah.
I know for a fact that I will probably not have guests because my viewing buddy has no interest in Battlestar ever. I've been trying to get him to watch Battlestar with me because I've been wanting to rewatch it for a couple of years, and he's like,
We're
no.
probably watching for different reasons, which is why I think it could be interesting.
It could be really interesting.
Like, my viewing buddy is probably not watching because our lead is a handsome.
Probably not.
That's it. That's all we got.
My only thing is because I've mentioned it before. We've started the next D&D mission inside the D&D mission where I'm playing because I it's obviously very much influenced by Ronin decks. But I'm trying to. He's a dwarf now.
It'll be really interesting to meet the actual Ronin decks after meeting your interpretation of
yeah. And so I am twisting it up a little bit, but he's basically like a surfer warrior.
Guys, D&D is far too much fun.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun after I've been playing Sam, who's like, I'm quick and nimble and I throw shit from a distance, but I'm fairly tough to like the person who's literally going, I'm just gonna barrel into the room with the bad guy and not give a shit and just start hacking away.
Barricade the door with my body so no one else can get in.
Basically what I did. It's because I'm a dwarf, people could still fire over me, but I basically stood in this, we had Nick's character was inside battling this giant dude, and I'm at the door also wailing on this dude, but blocking it so other people can't get in.
It's good times. It was fun.
Alrighty. Are we ready for like
that shit? Yeah.
You did mage hand that shit.
Okay, yes, I'm ready.
It makes me almost want mage hand for Sam, but not really. Alrighty.
139.
139. Okay. Welcome to episode 139 of There's No Place Like Terra, a Stargate First Watch Rewatch podcast. I am Nixie.
And I am Grace. And today we're going over season 7, episode 7, Enemy Mine. AKA, I did not make an AKA, it's not Mary Poppins, y'all. So that's all I can think of off the top of my head.
Just my AKA is Evan Lorne.
My other
AKA Yondu is Yondu be Yondu.
Forever and ever, yeah.
Yondu.
AKA O'Dannell.
O'Dannell. We can pick the one we like more.
It really is. He like, hey, in case you didn't know who Daniel is,
this
is who Daniel is.
By the way, in case you forgot what that season he was away. So this episode aired on July 25th, 2003, written and directed by Mr. Pila Deluise.
Boom.
I didn't see a cameo back there.
He wrote it.
I forgot looking for it. He did.
That's right.
The man can write as well.
Cheers to Mr. Deluise.
Yay. Cheers. Slungy boy. So the big... Oh, I got to drink first. Sorry.
Yeah.
Crime against nature to cheers and then not drink. So, new person under the Chaka mask. I think he was been under once before, but Peter Curry is under the Chaka mask. Who we last saw is Fifth.
Oh.
Fifth is playing Chaka.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just mind warp that.
Remind me which one Fifth is, because I think I got it.
The good replicator person.
Yes. Oh, that's so crazy.
Yeah. He does a couple other things where he's under a mask, and I love when you have masked characters like this that you can have multiple people play the character.
And speaking of masks, like right after my love of doll things, Jim Henson.
Yeah.
Holy shit, Chaka looks the fucking bomb.
He looks so good.
Yeah. The work has gotten amazing.
We're
watching a Kaylee Thor. It's weird.
It's also
awkward pauses.
It's not just the mask and how amazing that looks. It's just the change that, we can talk about it when we meet Chaka again. But Chaka's clearly undergone some changes.
Yes. Yeah. He's like
changes.
He's come from like a teenage boy to like a grown man. He's a grown man. Yeah.
He's matured. So, also, I just have to say we first meet Major Evan Lorne, played by favorite of me and, Sue, friend of the pod, Sue, Kevin Smith.
Evan Lorne is the super excited guy who knows all the things, sciencey things. Or which one is he?
He's not. He's like the guy that you see first report in. He's kind of Yondu's second.
Yeah. That guy. Okay.
I
think that's who I thought, but I was confusing him with the other one.
I can't. Normally, I don't say this, but because I love Lorne this much, we do see Lorne again.
Yay!
I love him and Kevin Smith.
Lorne Love, got it.
Yes, he happens to be a favorite of many people. Many people love themselves Kevin Smith. He was Jed on 4400, which is a great show.
Okay.
He was also Andy on Eureka. How can you not love Andy? And he's currently in a Hallmark series, When Calls the Heart.
Oh, I know that.
Which started as a Hallmark movie starring Stephen Amell.
I saw that one. I'm pretty sure I saw that. It's like an old Westy type frontier.
It's in Canada, Frontier Canada, and so there was a movie starring Stephen Amell, and now there's a series, and it stars Mr. Kevin Smith.
Boom.
He is like literally in the best, my favorite way possible, like made for Hallmark shit.
Yeah, I mean, no shame about my love for Hallmark things.
They're like chicken soup.
Yeah. Dude, around Christmas, there is no other place that you will find me but in front of fucking Hallmark.
I'm just telling you that Mr. Michael Shanks has also been in a couple Hallmark films, including one that involves hockey and including a Christmas one.
I bet I've seen them and did not know that I was seeing the future love of my life, Daniel.
Probably. And they were made like while he was filming this and after.
Oh, they're happening this Christmas. Those may be... Yeah. Those may happen.
Maybe a Tangent Caster too.
I like it.
On some Stargate affiliated Hallmark films.
Right.
And then the big name here, of course, Mr. Michael Rooker.
Woo!
AKA Yondu, AKA Merle Dixon.
Let me tell you
AKA Jared from Mallrats.
Let me tell you how much I never know anyone's names. Yeah. I wrote Daryl's brother, Star-Lord's adopted dad. So this whole not knowing names things doesn't just happen in Stargate. Yeah. It happens to me everywhere.
And I'm just gonna flat out tell you that I'm calling him Yondu this entire episode. He's no longer Edwards. He is Yondu.
It's also interesting it's fun to learn that voice has always been that voice.
Oh no, that's just him.
It's not even like a put upon sound.
No.
Yeah.
He just has that very distinctive voice.
Like read me a seductive poem in that voice. He would say dirty words at me.
He was also in the unaired pilot, which I'm going to tell you is a show that I secretly super love for math reasons.
Is that the one that has the kid from
Mr. Universe?
Oh, I don't even know if that. I was thinking of 10 Things I Hate About You.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah.
It's crime solving with math. And I secretly love that show
math
way more
solvers,
than
math in a way.
But he's also been in everything from Burn Notice to Chuck to Archer to Call of Duty. Like, you've seen him, you know him, you love him. Yeah. It's Michael Rooker. Everyone knows who he is.
Yes.
And he was in a random episode of Stargate SG-1.
I almost got boyfriend Jesse to watch. I'm gonna get him to watch an episode sometime soon on purpose because he's seen enough on accident.
Yeah.
But I was like, Michael Rooker's in this thing, and he's like, oh really? Well, tell me more.
Tell me more. Tell me more.
I think I'm just too desperate for it. Like I have to act like I don't want him to watch it.
The only time we can get bartender Nick to watch is if he happens to be home and we're rewatching and he's just too lazy to go to a different TV.
Yeah, that's kind of what happens in my house. It's like, well, I mean, I'm already on this couch.
I'm just going to stay here. So we start off with, which I'm fairly certain is ground penetrating radar. Yep.
Dirty.
That shit to see what's underground. And we're just going to call Lauren Major Dreamy. Major Dreamy. And if you can't get a decent cup of coffee on this planet, I'm officially never going there. As I drink my coffee spiked with rum.
Some of us don't do well without the coffees.
No, guys, don't even try to communicate with me before coffee's been had. It's not going to.
I've learned that I have an actual cutoff point. Like, you know how Cinderella's stuff turned back into pumpkins at midnight? If I go past 9:15
without a cup of coffee,
it's over.
The day's fucked.
It's fucked. I hate everybody, and everybody leave me alone, and I'm going to have this cup of coffee before anything else goes down.
So they're apparently here mining Naquadah, and apparently Yondu is not happy with what they're finding. It's literally just not enough. It's 2.3 or something parts per million.
So none.
It's just no coffee.
Just none.
No coffee.
No coffee is had.
No coffee. or Naquita.
I love that Kaylee just found the loudest toy. I hope you guys can't hear it.
Or can you?
Yeah, anything can happen.
And so
we're recording live.
We're recording live. So thankfully, some eager beaver comes over and says that they may have found the jackpot, the Naquita jackpot, with more than 50 times more than they've seen anywhere else, and like it just keeps getting more and more better.
Yeah. I mean, surely there's nothing to be worried about when things are this easy.
When we cut to a lone guy in a clearing with alien vision from the forest, and it's basically a horror film, so you know it's not going to go well.
Yeah.
And it doesn't. The guy's dragged the Unas. Can we just recast Predator with Unas? Because I think it would work really well.
Yeah, I totally.
It would work really well. Mm-hmm. When we come back, SG-1 minus Sam has arrived. The team that was mining isn't really trained for search and rescue, and the guy's been gone for 3 whole hours. And because
do you think they waited like 3 hours to get there? Like, how long does it take to go through the gate and get a team to come over?
Yeah,
it's like, I guess we should. I mean, he's been gone for like 2 hours now. We should probably report it. Yeah, we'll report it.
So because of the weird electromagnetic shit on the planet, his compass is pretty much a keychain at that point.
Yeah,
and conveniently, for story reasons, radios don't work.
Yeah, ta-da! The end.
So,
well, if it's all like electromagnetic blah blah blahs, then
it makes sense.
Nothing works.
So Lauren leads them to where the guy was taken, but not before Daniel's like, "What's under this tarp?
Huh?
What, you found artifacts and shit and didn't call me?"
He's got like a nose for artifacts. It's like hiding a treat around a dog. It's like, I sniff it. I can sniff it. Did you have artifacts here last week? Because I can sniff them.
He's like, "Oh, what? And then you moved them?" And like he's in full nerd rage.
Oh yeah.
He's full nerd rage.
Yeah.
Jack's like, "Go to your happy place."
Yeah.
And Daniel's
you know what it is? It's the type of anger that we hear because we both listen to true crime things.
Yes.
It's like, oh, and then the dumb cops just trampled all over the crime scene. It's the same idea.
It is.
It's like, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah.
Yeah. And Daniel stays grump while the rest of the team,
of course,
he stays there to grump, and Lauren leads the rest of the team. Lauren takes them to where Ritter, we find his name was surveying, and right now they just assume he got turned around and lost placing markers. They sent up some flares to try to help him back since compasses don't work. And Teal can't track jack shit because the ground is too firm, but the underbrush has been damaged. Something happened.
Our resident ranger. Ranger slash.
He's ranger fighter.
Yeah, ranger slash fighter slash monk slash the fucking everything.
Every class. Talk about cross-classing.
Okay.
So Jack radios in Daniel radios in that there's something that they should see. There's a ton of static, and Jack heads back to see what's going on while everyone else keeps looking here in this clearing.
Mm-hmm.
And mostly Daniel just shows him mining equipment. There's a torture stick that still has juice because it's like the Energizer Bunny of torture. It just keeps going and going.
Yeah.
Maybe that's
It's a Nokia brand torture stick.
It's a Nokia brick. But the fascinating part is the yoke.
Yeah.
It's too big for humans and too small for an animal. So Daniel is guessing Unas.
Unas were slaves.
Perfect slave labor for mining.
He's become like the Sherlock of all things.
Anthropological.
Yeah, we did it.
And Jack sighs because he has a bad feeling about this. And Teal, he radios Teal about how there might be a shit ton of Unas out there.
Yeah.
And Yondu is not liking the idea of anything that's going to delay his work because, there may have been some Unas 100 years ago, so why is that preventing us from mining now?
And because we know Daniel, our perspective is like, God, what a dick, but the truth is like, okay, here's your job, here's what you do.
Exactly.
You got this job to do, and the Pentagon and all these people are going to breathe down your neck about it.
And because he's like, my team's been here 3 months, and I've seen nothing. I need to produce something for the Pentagon. And Daniel's end is like, but they could still be here, and they're super territorial and dangerous if you poke them with a stick.
Yeah, because I'm Daniel and I know the things about how people and things work.
And Yondu is like, is he always like this? Jack says, yeah,
all the time,
all the time. This is basically prime Daniel.
I love it. It goes to show how much Jack has evolved.
Well,
you
or
know what I
as
mean?
they point out later, how much Daniel has trained Jack.
Sure, yeah, if you will. It just goes to show how different
Yes.
Jack is from the beginning, because Jack was very much Michael Rooker.
He was.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially in the movie version.
Yeah.
And like he's like, look, if that's really what you think took
Yeah.
Ritter, then we're not going to stop working. We're
Mhm.
just going to bring in more security.
Sure.
So in the forest, Daniel, or geez, I'm confusing everyone's name.
Doesn't matter.
Teal'c, they look so alike.
One of the people.
Finds at Una's like the ghoul defense necklace of bones. And we see our first confirmed Unas hiding in the trees. By this way, this place looks surprisingly like
It's crazy
Pacific
how
Northwest.
often these planets
I know.
are just Pacific Northwesty.
So they find a camp. It's basically bone scarecrows hung up everywhere, although one of them is fresh.
Yeah, this is a strain straight out of like, all I can think of is like Apocalypse, not even Apocalypse Now. What's the other one? No, it is Apocalypse Now.
Yeah.
But it's just fucking creepy.
Mm-hmm.
It's just awful.
It's It's creeptastic. And Lauren does not take it well. He still takes it better than I would. And at the camp, they do take...
Yeah, I would vomit all over the place.
Yeah. They take Ritter home, and Yondu is pissed, and you're led to believe that he's like ready for revenge. He's gonna hunt these. He's gonna hunt the Unas down.
He lost a man, and they strung him, and they disrespected his corpse. Shit's hit the fan.
And Daniel may have figured out how they inadvertently provoked the Unas.
Yeah.
He thinks it has to do with the mine deposit they just found. And I love how Jack defends Daniel. He's like, I mean, he's annoying, but he is usually right.
Yeah.
It's the most like backhanded.
It's like, look, it sucks how much he's right, but he's probably right.
Yeah.
I don't even want to admit this.
But it's that's more. It's like this weird backhanded, not backhanded compliment, reluctant compliment.
Yeah, and I think it comes down to that, like, there's plenty of people who you're not best friends with, maybe like at work. But if someone outside of your work says something, you're like, yeah, no, it's he's right.
Well, actually, I look at it more of he is playing it for Yondu.
Okay.
I think he's more like he's trying to. I don't want to say like dude it up, but he's being a little more
switching.
Yeah,
he's code switching to talk to you to the Yondu character.
That's what I think is going on.
That's fair.
But Yondu comes down to this. His mission is to figure out if this is good mining until... Hush! Hey! 16. Okay. But Yondu comes down to this. His mission is to figure out if this is good mining. Until those orders are rescinded...
Yeah.
He's going to just have to ensure the safety of his people and continue his job. SG-1 can choose to help or not.
Yeah. I'm totally going to sneeze and it won't come out. And so Nick's looking at me because I look crazy. I'm okay. I got it.
Later in the forest, Daniel does not like this plan at all because Yondu's never dealt with the Unas before.
No, and, Daniel knows better than to just go, look, let's just go all weapons first.
Yeah.
Questions later. It's like, no, that's not the best way to deal with the Unas.
And Jack reminds him that this is still Yondu's command, so until he really crosses the line, Jack's gonna respect that.
Yeah.
And then gunfire breaks out.
Yay.
And it's a run-in between SG forces and Unas, and even with guns on their side, like the SG forces it doesn't go well for them.
No, not at all.
SG-1 runs in like a cavalry. One knocks Jack down, and before Jack can shoot him, Daniel yells "Ka Ke Ka."
Yeah.
And gets the main Unas, the leader, to pause over Jack. And this guy, we later find out to be Iron Shirt.
Yes.
Here's
his Iron Shirt.
Because of his yes. Here's Daniel and yells at the rest of the Unas who break off their attack.
Yeah.
And they grab their wounded and they leave. And you notice one necklace on the ground, which totally won't come into play later.
Not at all.
No.
Not at all.
Jack does not feel good. He's a little wounded.
Yeah.
And Yondu wants to chase after the rest of the Unas and hit them real hard. And you can hear this roar in the distance, which is the Unas mourning their dead.
Yeah. It's
haunting.
Yes, that is the right word.
Yeah.
It is haunting sound.
Jack's like, no, we're not chasing them down into unknown territory. And
yeah, no, let's just go further into this unknown place and to where we're all gonna die.
And Yondu makes the mistake that many people do in terms of the Unas. He underestimates their intelligence.
Yes.
And he also just like watched a whole bunch of his men die and just wants more revenge.
Yeah.
So he's kind of just...
So he sees them as animals right now. That's what's happening. He's like, they might as well be...
thinking of them as animals.
Yeah, he doesn't...
But he's more like, we could... More like domesticated. Like, he is not... Even at the end of this episode, he's not converted, I don't think.
No, I don't think so either. I think he's like, they're wild wolves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Jack pulls rank and is like, look, you are in charge of a mining operation. This is not a mining operation. We're heading back to the SGC to figure it out.
That's
and
fair.
Yondu does under protest.
Yeah.
Back at the SGC in the infirmary, Jack's arm
That's
is...
the other thing, too. It's like, dude, you were sent here to head a mining mission. You weren't sent here because you're a badass fighter. Which also may be why he feels this desire to be like, pull out all the guns, because I never get to do this. He's basically got a desk job.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm ready.
So Jack's arm's in a sling. He's in pain. We finally see Sam for one scene. She's stuck here because she's doing a complete overhaul of the gate diagnostic system. And probably working really close with Walter and Siler, and maybe even Major Wood.
Who knows? All these important things, but they're really, to Jack, they're like, you lost me.
Yeah.
Did you make the volcano erupt yet?
So Daniel confirms that when they go back to the planet, Jack is not going, and he's not taking commands because arm. Yeah. Ouch.
Arm hurty.
No.
Hurty arm.
But Yondu doesn't have the experience dealing with Unas or with Daniel.
No.
And Daniel spent a lot of time breaking Jack in, and he just really doesn't want to start with a new colonel.
Yeah, he's like, God, I've done so much training. Yeah. I'm surprised Jack takes this that well.
I know.
Like, truly. You know, like...
Here's the thing. He's drugged up right now.
Yeah, he's like, fine, I don't care.
I don't.
Yeah.
You'll pay for it later.
Goodbye.
I don't care.
I feel good now.
Sam is loving this whole conversation and like looking back and forth and watching this. Yeah. And as
because Sam's done her fair share of training Jack as well. Like they're all just kind of like, okay.
And as Daniel leaves, Jack is like, just don't try and be, so you.
Yeah.
And Sam is looking at this going, what the fuck is going on?
Can you not this up? And she's like, what?
So in the briefing room, Hammond introduces Yondu to General Vadreen, who we have seen before.
Yes.
He is totally on board with leaving the planet. Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But the Prometheus is still on the other side of the galaxy around that planet from the last season.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they need to get it home.
Yeah.
And to bring it home, they need Naquita.
Yeah.
So we kind of have to, unless we find another way magically right now, we kind of have to go back to the planet.
I love this. Way to bring some, like, sense and perspective into this. It's like, okay, great, Daniel, the world would be this great lovey-dovey place if we could all just leave things if we need to. But the fact and the reality is that we got a ship and it needs fucking Naquita.
Yeah.
And that's the reality where we are.
Yep. And Yondu is still thinking men's and guns will do the job.
Of course.
Hammond is on Daniel's side. Vadreen and the Pentagon are on Yondu's side. So Daniel's been sort of uninvitedly listening to all this at the door, and he thinks he can fix this peacefully.
Mm-hmm.
All of this started when they found and sort of zoned in on this one mine site. So, guys, let's just look for a different one.
Yeah. Ta-da!
Easy peasy.
But I want that one.
But this is the only one they found so far that's worth anything.
This is my favorite one.
Yeah. So Yondu calls the Unas animals, and Daniel's like, fuck you. They are intelligent beings with a sense of honor, and if you underestimate them, you're just going to die, and they're going to die, and
everyone dies.
Death will be all around.
Yeah.
So Daniel... He can speak their language a bit. Mm-hmm. It's a bit rough. He understands their ways.
I love this too, that they're like, oh, so you want to be the diplomat? And Daniel's like, no, I'm not fucking qualified for this. Mm-hmm. Because unlike you, I don't have to be the leader of all the things.
But I know someone who is qualified.
Yeah. Dun, 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 dun.
Chaka! And he's apparently learned a whole bunch more English recently.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. So he reminds them that, look, this is the Unas' planet.
Yep.
We're the invaders, and we don't have to provoke and kill them, but, like, this is theirs.
Yeah. We're literally showing up on their land and just digging shit.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't they be pissed?
Hammond is like, look, it can't
if
hurt.
you showed up to my house and started digging in my backyard,
Yeah.
I'd be like, what the fuck do you think you're doing?
Exactly.
And if you were like, no, here's the deal. I'm going to plant these things so we can both eat from it, and you don't have to do anything except let me do this. I would be like, all right, cool.
Yeah, communication.
Communication is key.
But, like, the story that I'm going to tell at the end of this, after the whole thing,
Oh, sure.
right now they don't know how to communicate.
That's true.
So this is the only way the Unas right now know to communicate, is to be like, hey, fuck off. And if we tell you to fuck off enough, you'll fuck off.
Yeah.
Hammond is like, look, this can't hurt to try. So Vadreen gives Daniel the go-ahead to contact Shaka and make things clear, though. If negotiations fail and it comes down to us versus them, it's us.
Yeah.
And deadly force is authorized.
Well, yeah. And he's got to do that so he can sleep at night. Otherwise, he basically sent his men to be fucking killed by these Unas.
So Daniel is able to quickly find Shaka, and he's obviously, you know, gone through his own life upgrade journeys.
Yeah.
And his clothes have gotten a major upgrade.
He's ready to serve on, like, a Jedi High Council.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's the type of, like, vestments he's wearing.
Oh, yeah.
And then them fucking teeth are so magnificent. And I was
polishes
like,
them like a Ferengi.
Yeah, if I had teeth like that, I'd eat nothing but raw meat all day.
And I love how Walter's like, it's Daniel +1. Did he RSVP?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Does the IDC tell how many people are coming?
Yeah.
So,
and they both want chicken.
He awkwardly says hello to Vadreen, and he responds, and it's not the most, shall we say, friendly of exchanges.
No. But you know what? When you exist with teeth bared, it goes to show the type of culture that you are.
It is.
It's such a great move by, I'm guessing, the like makeup and effects department to be like, these people just exist with teeth bared. That's so like to. Even if that doesn't mean something to them, it means something to humans.
It does.
It's like them teeth are there.
Yep.
It's like walking around just with your gun out.
Exactly.
Just brandish.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, Yondu is not excited to hear that Daniel neglected to mention that Shaka led an uprising on his planet.
It's like, well, how do you think we became friends?
Yeah. But the important part is he's proven himself to be the best negotiator with the Unas that we have, the peacemaker for the Unas, and he wants to expand his knowledge. He wants to help Unas on other planets. And I also love how Shaka shows reverence for Hammond.
Right. Absolutely, because he's learned to respect these people.
And he knows that Hammond is the leader.
Yep.
And in the Unas culture, that's who you show reverence to. Vadreen is clearly not the leader here. Yeah. So when they get to the planet, the local Unas have...
I would love to take, considering my major, I would love to take some sort of leadership course taught by another culture so magnificently different, like by an Unas.
Would be cool.
Holy crap.
That would be really cool.
That would be the fucking greatest thing.
And so when they get to the camp, the local Unas have, let's just say, told the SG camp how they feel about them being here with fire and destruction.
Yeah.
And Yondu...
with an interpretive dance of fire and destruction.
And Yondu, the asshole that he is like surprised the Unas have command of fire.
Yeah, it's like, fuck you, dude.
Yeah. Daniel has his action bandana on, so we have good times coming.
Well, he's got to get psyched up.
Yeah.
I forgot about the action bandana.
The action bandana's here. And is fairly sure that Shaka will lead them to the local Unas. And I also love that Shaka, talking about you just live with teeth bared, doesn't take shit from any of the Earthlings except for Daniel.
He really doesn't. He doesn't bat an eye about it.
Like, him and Yondu just make a staring contest.
Yeah. Well, and it's like, look, I'm impressed by Edwards.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that you can stare into that face and not be the first to blink is fucking magnificent, because I'd be like, oh shit, I'm not looking at him.
And Daniel
I'm bowing my head.
does stand between them going, just as an FYI, if you keep doing that, he's going to take it as a challenge.
And
you'll lose.
Yeah.
You'll lose, and it'll be bloody.
Yeah.
And Daniel is basically the only thing keeping them from killing each other.
See how sharp those teeth are?
And again, we have a call out to Hanson and Penhall from 21 Jump Street, which, if I didn't mention, Stephen Williams, General Madreen is Captain Fuller from 21 Jump Street.
All these things that I forget.
And, Mr. DeLuise.
Oh, that one I knew.
Was on 21, yeah. So Daniel thinks that Yondu's prepping for war, and Teal'c is like, or just protecting his camp.
Yeah.
And I like how Teal'c comes from the other side.
Yep. He's got to provide that balance.
Exactly.
And he understands that with Jack out, he's like, okay, I've got to fill this other role.
Yeah.
Because usually he leans a little bit on the end of like a Daniel, but with force.
Yeah.
Like a forceful rebellion guy.
Like a Jedi person.
Yeah.
Yeah. like that warrior monk fighter ranger.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Man, I really want to play a Jedi in D&D now. So later out in the forest, Shaka points out that, with so many people and with so many guns, doesn't it kind of...
And
then Teal'c is like, are you sure, bro?
Yeah, Teal'c's like, oh, this is where you died. Goodbye.
Daniel's like, yeah, I guess I'm sure. Yeah. I guess here's my gun.
I'm doing this now.
I guess I'm going with him.
Goodbye.
So they head into the clearing with all the scarecrows, and Daniel gives...
He's like at the club, and your friend's like, I'm going to go dance with this creepy guy. It's like, I'm going to sit here and watch you, because I don't feel good about this.
Are you sure? I'm going to come in like 5 minutes.
I'm going to stop drinking so I can keep an eye on you.
So they head into the scarecrow clearing, and Daniel shows Chaka a new toy, a lighter.
Uh-huh.
And Chaka starts chanting, trying to bring the locals out to meet him.
Sure, yeah.
And Daniel is a little like, are we there yet?
Yeah.
Are we there yet?
Did we do it?
And
did it work?
Chaka gives him a shut the fuck up glance.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh.
I'm clearly in the middle of something, dude. Yeah.
Oh, I quit. This is going to take as long as it takes.
Yeah. How awesome. Okay, imagine this, right?
Yes.
Imagine you're in a new place.
Uh-huh.
And you just want to get a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, well, I've not met any of the locals here. There's only one way to meet all the locals. And you just start doing a fucking interpretive dance. Yeah. And then hope that someone comes over. How much more fun would our lives be?
I want to go to another country.
Yeah.
And I want to stand in the large town square.
You go to like Venice and stand in St. Mark's Square.
And just start like interpretive dancing.
and then build a fire.
Life goal.
Yes.
Bartender Nick will be standing on the side going,
I don't know
you.
Don't know you. And I will be your hype man.
That's awesome.
I will come and be your hype man.
So it takes until nighttime. Chuck is still chanting, and we see that Iron Shirt is watching him. Mm-hmm. Chuck can tell he's out there. Daniel soon realizes that as well.
Yeah.
And the rest of the group of Iron Shirt's group is now surrounding them. Mm-hmm. And looking very intimidating.
Listen, the body language communication that's happening
on point
is I understand.
Yeah.
I understand.
Uh-huh.
Your nonverbals are coming through loud and clear.
So Shaka and Daniel kneel, sort of basically showing them their belly the same way that Kaylee does when we get home.
Uh-huh.
And there's a bit of a trade, an exchange of gifts.
Yeah.
Iron Shirt gets the rest of the clan to calm the fuck down.
Yeah.
So Chaka and Iron Shirt communicate, and this is where we learned Iron Shirt, probably because of his Gould chainmail.
Yeah, his Iron Shirt. Quite literally.
Yeah. And Daniel basically says the moral of the story.
Mm.
We brought death. We want to be friends and preserve life.
Ta-da!
And if this all works out, we all win.
Yeah.
Negotiations are on.
Listen, this is the scariest campfire I've ever been to. And campfires can be scary, especially if you're telling campfire tales.
It's also just, I think the beautiful way that they're scary is because there is a bubble of light.
Yeah.
And especially when you are, when you are outside of that bubble of light,
mm-hmm.
You're able to see things that are illuminated
by
the light a little bit more. When you're inside the campfire bubble of light, all it is blackness outside of it.
Yeah. So that already makes campfire scary.
Yes.
And everything is hanging on every balance, like the balance of you not fucking moving your face wrong.
Exactly. And that Dan will be the first one to die.
And Dan, I feel like if I were Dan, I'd be like mostly holding my breath.
Yeah.
Can I move now? Can I? Okay.
I really have to fart right now,
Yeah.
and I'm hoping you don't take that as a weird noise.
Yeah, as a bad sign.
But like, I'm about to shit my pants.
Yeah.
So I kind of just want to fart instead. There's the sneeze.
Yay, came violent.
So later, Daniel and Chaka come out back to camp, and yeah, the earlier theory was right. They're frightened of the mine. It scared them, which makes sense when you think about the fact that their ancestors were worked to death in Gould mines for Naquadah.
Yeah, yeah.
That's how they got here, is they were brought here to mine the Naquadah. They somehow freed themselves or were left here.
There's far too many similarities between the humans and the ghouls who enslaved
There's
them.
literally no difference to them right now.
Yeah.
So on Earth, sacred burial grounds are protected from developments, and Daniel's hoping the same would apply here. But just like on Earth, when it's 53,000 metric tons of Naquadah, sacred grounds don't mean jack shit.
Guess who's going to try to dig in that national park?
I'm not going to touch that one.
Nope.
With a 10-foot pole.
No.
Take for what you will. So back in the control room, Hammond and Vadreen are chatting with Daniel over the melt, Chuck in the background. Vadreen's like, let's just move them.
Yeah.
And Daniel points out that they're not going to understand that.
Yeah, that's not, okay, just leave your house. Here.
Yeah.
No.
Well, and besides the fact that they won't agree to it, they're literally not going to be able to understand the concept.
Right. Oh, you're just taking them from their home.
It's like trying to teach them calculus at this point. It's just not going to happen. So Vadreen just wants to trank them and move them.
Yeah, like a fucking dick.
And
sorry.
Daniel's like, I've said this before, they're not animals.
Right. They're sentient beings with thoughts and feelings and yeah.
He's like, I think I can accomplish something. You just need to give me time. Yeah. Hammond gives him 24 hours or the Unas are going to be forcibly moved, which you can tell from the look on Hammond's face. He doesn't want to do it.
Yeah.
But again, he's stuck in the hard place between the Pentagon and 53,000 metric tons of Naquadah.
Right, where the politics and greed are winning out over possibly making allies.
Yes. Also, not touching that with a 10-foot pole. Back in the Unas camp, progress is being made. They agree that the Gould are their common enemy. Awesome.
Yeah.
Perfect base to build off of.
Yeah.
Earth is going to give them food. He takes out an energy bar, which Iron Shirt is like, that shit is tasty.
I feel like, do you think Chaka remembers his first energy bar?
Oh, I'm sure.
Because
that's how him and Daniel bonded.
Do you think Daniel brought him like a box
of
bars when he came over? And he's like, yep, this is good.
So, in exchange for Kada, which they called Naquadah, they get the Earth is going to make war with the Gould.
Right.
And Daniel does some bad airplane noises with his hand.
Yeah.
And both of the Unas are like, what the
I love that they're so bad that they're like, stop. Just stop. Just move on. Pass. I'm done with this charade.
So instead, Daniel picks up the staff weapon. Keikata, I forget what he says, but he's going to make a lot of these weapons, and we're going to bring death to the Gould. And Iron Shirt's like, now you're talking my language.
I like this, yeah.
I'm on board with this. So just at this point, as they're reaching sort of the negotiation climax.
Yeah, the most, fragile of places. The most fragile of
places. We suddenly cut to some SG guys in the forest with guns. And they hear a sound and they hold, and nothing bad can happen from that. Back with Daniel in negotiations, he doesn't know how to tell them that if they don't agree to do this, they're going to be relocated.
Yeah.
By the way, not something he approves of.
But that's what they're going to do.
But he tries to mime it out.
Yeah. I mean, and he's doing all of this under the stress of this time, of this shitty leadership, of holy crap, Daniel, way to keep your cool.
And he's like, look, I know you want to be defiant of this, but not even peaceful disobedience is going to get you anywhere here, let alone violent disobedience.
People will die.
Exactly. And it's out of Daniel's control, but how can he communicate these complex things? And he warns them that
with hand puppets.
He warns them that if the Unas rise up, they are not going to win against the Earth forces. He's also then learns that all the tribes will fight.
Yeah.
That there's more than just this one clan here, and that's not good.
It's fun when Iron Sleeves is like, oh no, we'll bring death to you. Which, talk about a fucking power move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here is my dick.
I am
on
the
proverbial
danger.
table.
Yeah.
I am captain now.
He goes full Heisenberg and he's like, I am the danger. Which is one of my favorite scenes.
It's like everyone's favorite scene.
Yeah.
And so he tries to radio Teal'c, but it's just static. So he tells Chaka to stay here, and he doesn't. He follows him.
Mm.
And then the teams are out still in the forest, and they sense and hear something, but they don't see anything. And we see Daniel and Chaka running out from Scarecrow Land. And then we see the Unas watching the SG teams in the forest.
Oh, it's just that time.
They move out, and like, and
there's similarities of the shoot first.
We'll get there.
Later.
I'll get there. Which is right when Daniel comes across them.
Yeah.
The guy who fired reports to Yondu that he was attacking. And Daniel's like,
or was he?
No, you see this stone necklace? This is precious to them. He was coming
we did not
back
understand perspective.
to get this, and you killed him. And Yondu's like, oh, no need to apologize. And I'm like, not even walking into the thing that maybe you don't automatically shoot someone who's not armed and not attacking you. It's
let's just take a drink.
When he's walking in your arm taking and the Unas know what just happened. Full harrowing sound anymore. This is
a fucking swarm of cicadas coming to eat you alive. Yeah.
This is a power move.
Yeah.
This is pure intimidation.
Oh yeah.
And they may have not rolled crit, but they rolled like a 19 or easily.
Well, they're just running intimidation checks right now, and they're doing okay. Yeah, and can't say Daniel didn't tell you.
No.
You'd be fucked.
No. Teal'c tells them that they need to prep for attack immediately. Yondu's like, let them come, bro. Let them come. We're ready. And Daniel's like, no, you're fucking not.
Daniel's a far better person than I am, because at that point, I would surrender myself to that Unas and be like, yeah, take his ass out.
Yeah.
Because I tried.
Back at the base, you still hear the roaring, and Daniel's like, we need to get out of here like yesterday.
Yeah.
You don't understand. Yondu's not buying a single one of this. He's like, I've seen the aerial scans. There's barely any of them. He goes, they fucking live underground.
He is suffering from gold arrogance. What's happening.
He is. And Teal'c is on the, you have no idea what you're in for, and you should listen to my wisdom and get the fuck out of here train.
Yeah.
You can see from a distance Iron Shirt standing on a hill, and he can see Yondu and Daniel yelling at each other.
Yeah.
Which Chaka alerts them. He tells them, he doesn't have to do that much of like an investigation check, because Iron Shirt is just fucking standing on the hill.
He's like, I'm here, coming for you.
Not hiding.
What's up? Yeah.
Probably directly upwind too, or
Yeah.
So Daniel yells to hold your fire, and Yondu sort of overrides that and is like, just don't fire first.
Yeah. Huh.
And soon the camp is entirely surrounded.
Yeah.
Overwhelming show of force.
Yeah.
Some
be dumb.
great effects that you can tell it's just a whole bunch of Unas doubled all over again, but I give them mass credit.
It looks really cool.
It looks fantastic. Finally, Yondu is like, we should leave.
It's like, oh yeah, I should have listened to you, but I'm not going to admit it because I'm an asshole.
And Daniel's like, but it's too late.
Yeah.
Because if we leave now, they're just going to chase us down and kill us.
Yep.
The time to leave was 10 minutes ago, and I told you we should have fucking left.
And it's not an option now.
So Iron Shirt just sort of boldly walks his ass into camp.
Yeah.
And Daniel recognizes what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Iron Shirt is giving the camp a chance to surrender. Yondu just will not put his weapon down until the very end. And Daniel walks up. He tells Iron Shirt that they don't have to kill each other. They can be the same tribe. He uses the same hand gestures that they were using before.
It's gotta be tough. You know what it is at the end of the day, like a lot of us, Edwards is scared of death.
He is.
So wouldn't you go out fighting? Because I know I fucking would.
Exactly.
So it's gotta be tough to imagine that maybe not fighting is an option when you are in full lizard brain survival mode.
Your fight or flight has kicked in so hard, and you're on a complete fight. Your adrenaline is so racing.
There's no thoughts.
Exactly.
I am no longer a complex thinking being.
You're not.
Yeah.
But Daniel still tries to convince him that together they can bring death to the ghoul.
Yeah.
But Iron Shirt is not buying it.
Shit.
He's like, we can talk peace all you want back at the camp, but the humans still are killing Unas.
Right.
And they, you need to show respect.
Yeah.
So Daniel and Chaka get down on the ground. Teal'c immediately gets down on the ground. And Yondu, again, still has a hard time doing this.
Dude, yeah.
Not understanding that this is how the Una social order works, which Daniel forcibly tells Yondu. He's like, listen, this is a make or break situation.
Yeah.
We have no time for this shit. You need to follow my lead.
Right.
Because I am the expert in this right now.
And again, I'm totally with Daniel, obviously.
Yeah.
But fuck, if someone's like Neil or death,
yeah,
I might choose death.
Yeah.
I might choose death.
It's hard.
Yeah.
But it's also there's a difference of it's Neil or death, but that death is not just your death.
Right.
It's if you don't kneel, it's everyone's death.
Right. Which is important to consider. Holy crap, the amount of complex thinking you have to do in that moment. I don't envy it.
The rest of his men are following Yondu's lead.
It's like you're gonna kill all of these men. This is where true leadership comes into play.
And he does. He slowly kneels.
Yep.
And the rest of his men do too. And it's honor that Iron Shirt understands that.
This is when I cried.
Iron Shirt
says honor.
He does say honor.
And I cried a little bit.
And then he kneels himself before Daniel.
Yeah.
Remembering the trade, Daniel pulls out this lighter, and Iron Shirt gives Daniel the bone necklace.
It's a big fucking deal.
Which is a huge deal.
Yeah.
In return, and we know how much that means. And negotiations begin, and they will last as long as it takes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, how long do we have to kneel? Like you're in fucking mass.
Like you are in Catholic church.
Yeah.
There may involve standing and then kneeling again.
Yeah. So just be ready.
Also,
get your knees ready.
Do not lean your butt against that back pew.
Yeah, your ass is grass.
You cannot lean on anything. You just stand there and kneel there straight.
I know that move. But don't you dare not shake hands with people that aren't in your family. Reach over and shake that hand.
To be fair, I knew who I could be sitting next to and then rest my butt when I was kneeling.
Oh, smart.
There were certain people I was sitting next to that I could do that.
Certain people of older generations?
No. Certain people of younger generations.
Ah, understood.
If I was sitting next to the people of older generations, that's when you kneel like you have a rod up your backside and you are standing straight.
I just always lean towards Grandpa doesn't go to church. Why have to go? And then my grandma would be like, because I'm going to take you to McDonald's afterwards. I'd be like, sold.
Oh, no, my grandma's the one that if we were sitting even 3 people away from her and we did anything out of line, she would somehow reach over us very slyly like no one could tell and just stop us. Anyway, so it does take a while, but eventually they strike themselves a deal. Daniel explains that they will not desecrate the Unas' sacred ground anymore, and the Unas will honor their ancestors by helping us defeat the ghoul.
Boom, solid.
The Unas will work the mine themselves. It was Iron Shirt's idea. It's literally the best of both worlds.
You can't even, you cannot have asked for a better outcome.
So you treat them with honor and respect, and you will be amazed at what allies these people can be. And Yondu says Jack was right. Daniel is a pain in the ass, but worth it.
Yeah, I wrote that quote down word for word because I love it. Treat them with honor and respect, and we'll figure out what kind of allies they can be.
Yeah.
Holy crap, let's all remember that line.
Yeah.
And what does it hurt to treat each other with honor and respect?
Exactly.
Ever. It just does,
you lose nothing.
Yeah, absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah. So we get a really nice moment with Iron Shirt and Chaka before. So, okay.
And Daniel.
again, there's a lot of very heavy
Yeah.
social political things that you can read into this. And I did a bunch of stories, looked up for stories about like, you know, mining on sacred grounds, and there's just a depressingly large amount of stories on there. But I also found this really interesting, I'm going to butcher the story entirely, and I feel like I'm about to be on the episode of The Dollop. But I found this article from August 2016 issue of The New Yorker, and I blank on the name of the article. I don't remember it. I'll try to post it. I'll post this article. It's a very, very, very long read, but it's really, really interesting because it had, I feel, a lot of parallels to this. Besides the fact that it was just a fascinating read because it was more than the story, but it's also went on the whole sort of background. But there's a tribe in the Peruvian rainforest. Some people call them I'm going to butcher all these names, I'm sorry. The Meshco Piro, but they call themselves the Nomoli.
Okay.
So it's apparently purely in 1998, there's an estimated like 100 to 250 people in the population. But in the article, this article says that as a couple years ago, there might be as many as 1,000 now.
Okay.
So they're on the list of uncontactable people.
Okay.
Since, you know, that list is given to a lot of these tribes that are in the rainforests of South America and other places of the world, because on top of the fact that it's sort of like the prime directive in Star Trek is to let them be, but there's like the prime directive in Star Trek is to let them be, but there's also, you know, they have no immunity for diseases, and we know how smallpox happens.
Yeah. It's so awesome to think that in an Earth that we now think is so small, that there are still tribes of people that we're not allowed to come near because they're still doing things in their own pace and their own way, and they don't deal with the illnesses and diseases and shit that we do. Yeah, as far as we know.
So there was a farmer and a guy called Nicholas Flores, and he was sort of a go-between a lot of the indigenous tribes. Like there wasn't a ton of contact, but he lived, and there's a big river there. And at one point, the Nomole came to the other side of the river, and that Flores was on. He was like farming, and they tried to flag him down with no avail. And a week later, as he was working in his garden, a bamboo arrow tipped with poison pierced his heart.
Yikes.
And we're going to pause really quick while Kaylee barks. Hi. We're edited. The video's still going.
Video is live forever.
So.
Hello, Nicholas.
Are you done barking, Kaylee? Can we continue? Okay. So, which, as you can imagine, turned into a bit of a story in the country, in the media cycle. And as it goes, it kind of got turned into this native savages attacking the locals. But eventually something else came in the news cycle and just kind of
Sure.
Over the next few years, there were some other sightings. You know, they came and stole food a couple times. And eventually there was another attack a few years later, and a 20-year-old man was killed. And now the government had to intervene. So there's apparently a fairly new office there called the Department of Native Isolated People and People in Initial Contact.
Ooh.
Really rolls off the tongue.
Yeah.
And conveniently, it was a new thing, and now that there was violence involved, they kind of had to break the no contact laws.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess you do, yeah.
So to lead this, Lorena...
I can help you.
Yeah, thank you.
Lorena Prieto. I wonder if that should have been Cruz or it's Cause.
Yeah, it was. That is spelt the way it was. Invited the author of this article, John Lee Anderson, to go with her. I can pronounce John Lee Anderson. Yay. So John tells a story, and this is where this article is really, really long, and he tells this sort of long story about how they went out to contact these people. Yeah. And he also told the story of how he's been on these journeys up these rivers to contact some of these native tribes before the indigenous people. Okay. And one time he came up the river in a boat, and this woman saw him, ran, and the entire village hid, and they were calling him Pishtako.
Okay.
which apparently the guide he was with said meant evil person who had come to steal the oil from their bodies.
Yowza, yeah.
Which they think the guide he was with thinks it goes back to the Spanish conquistadors, and let's just say the contact was less than ideal.
Right.
And the article said that it may have involved, because the stories are that they killed the locals, boiled their bodies to render the fat to use as grease, so their metal weapons wouldn't rust.
That's worse than I imagined.
Yeah.
My thought was like, well, they think that blood is oil.
Yeah, no.
Oh,
yeah.
Jesus.
So as you can imagine, those stories come down, so...
Yeah, I would be fucking scared too.
Exactly.
And I'd be like, kill it. Kill it with
because
fire.
There's no other way to communicate.
Yep.
And again, it's like the Unas, where the Gould were doing these horrible things.
Yeah.
They see these other people. They don't know that they're not Gould.
Right.
So they see these other people come in, and they're like, just stay the fuck away.
Yeah.
That's the only way we have to communicate.
What a this like gives me a, pardon my language, but like a communications hard-on.
Yeah,
like
no,
you're going to understand.
You are going to love this
crap.
article when you read it, and it's a really, really long read, and it's really, and I wish I could do it more justice. So I'm just going to post the link. Please read this, because the article is also fascinating in how it talks about how feudal the government, like these people who are trying to defend this land, and these people feel because they're showing there's evidence that people live here, and they're trying to prevent the gold mining and the logging in the area. But again, just like the fact, when you have 53,000 tons of naquita there, when you have millions of dollars of gold and logging there, it's where's the balance of
we've got to understand. We don't know what the potential is here. Like, it's so fucking retarded to me. I'm sorry, that's not the right word. It's so fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
That people can't grasp that concept. There's far more valuable things that we could get from these people that we don't have.
Yeah.
We have no idea what the fuck could be there. That would be amazing to have.
So the catch is now there's this discussion going on because there's really no way to ensure no contact these days. So now there's this new concept that's more considered to be sort of organized contact, where instead of trying to leave them completely as they are, you have sort of one person or one organization that becomes the contact point, because then you can still protect them in terms of diseases and stuff as much as you can. But you can find some communication so that these people aren't just like killing.
Yeah.
They have some other vocalized way to be like, this is our land, stay off, when you have one person who goes and visits them regularly and that can communicate with them.
I just can't get beyond the fact, like these people, like, the government's looking at these literal gold mines. These people are a gold mine in a whole other sense.
Yes.
There's no way for us to know what they possibly could have.
Exactly.
The potential is worth so much more.
So at this, and again, like I said, at this point, the Nomole have been communicating.
Oh, wow.
But they've only been communicating in the only way that they can right now, which is going, stay the fuck off our land.
Yeah, don't come
Please
here.
leave us alone.
Yeah.
You're bringing us death.
Right.
So eventually they do make contact. Again, it's a very long article. It'd be a whole hour-long podcast on top of this if I tried to tell this whole story. Contact was made, and now these people, again, like I said, they have a way of communicating, and some people think it's really good, but other people go, they're only able to contact with one group.
Yeah.
And so they're lacking these outside outlets now. So it's a sort of a really, really fascinating concept and story, because, like I said, there's a ton of stories about mining on sacred burial grounds and mining on sacred land. But I like this one because it seemed a lot very similar to this episode.
Yeah.
And this article is written, 13 years afterwards.
Yeah, well, and it's this active, like, it's not a story from 100 years ago.
No.
Like, these are actively people that exist.
Exactly.
That's really freaking cool.
We still have a lot of civilizations that, we're sending drones over and getting pictures. Yeah. And I'll tell you, I was just outside walking the dog the other day, and I heard a noise that I couldn't identify. And I looked up, and it was not someone's drone.
Right.
It was a little higher than that and looked like a commercial drone.
Yeah.
That was flying sort of overhead. And I can tell you as someone who has dealt with drones enough before that just the sound, not knowing where it came from, kind of freaked me out a bit.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if you...
I love the pictures that you get because they're throwing spears at this shit. Yeah. Because why wouldn't you?
Exactly. They have literally no way of interpreting what that is. It's
so fucking crazy. And then you're like, how? How do we do it? But, you know, thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago, we figured out ways to do this. So there's got to be ways.
Exactly.
We are smart enough. We are able to do it because we've done it before.
And that's what this department in the Peruvian government, I lost what the title is. The Department of Native Isolated People and People in Initial Contact. Yeah. I'm sure that sounds way cooler.
Yeah, but it's possible that in Spanish
not
it just rolls off the tongue. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm gonna post the link to this article. It's it's a really fascinating article. Again, it was in the August issue of the New Yorker of 2016. If you happen to get the New Yorker,
there you go.
Always good shit in there. But yeah, so next week is space. Okay, can we just say it's Space Race? But because when I said Space Race, someone else in the house said. Space race.
Oh God, jeez.
Okay,
I'm ready.
Alrighty, rankings.
Oh yeah, so just based on the content of this episode,
you're ranking this way higher than I am.
Absolutely, I'm sure.
I know for a fact.
Let's look at where we are. Yeah. I'm going to put this.
Like, I'll be honest. This is a great episode. This does not make my top 5 list.
I'm going to put it right now because...
Are you tying?
No, I think I'm going to put it above Orpheus.
Okay. Are you dropping Orpheus?
Yeah, I think I'm dropping Orpheus. Because Orpheus kind of just made the list because it just did.
Yeah, no, this is a great episode.
Yeah.
But again, it's the final scene of Orpheus still just makes my soul so happy.
Yeah, that's fair.
And this is a great episode, but it's not one I go back and rewatch often.
It's just a good Grace episode.
But it's a total Grace episode. But Space Race is just fun. I think you're gonna like it. So
this was this was fun. I enjoyed it. It just kind of takes my brain is 100 light years from here now.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, oh my God. And then
communication hard on.
And then like I get into this like dream state where I'm like, what if I could learn how to do that? How fucking cool would it be to like
maybe you can be Daniel.
Yeah. How awesome would that be? Okay,
yeah.
I'm done. Guys, thanks for listening.
It's Indiana Daniel.
It's
Indiana Jackson.
It's Indiana Grace.
Indiana Grace.
You know where to find us. On Twitter, we're at Terra Podcast.
We're on Facebook at There's No Place Like Terra.
You can email us at There's No Place Like Terra @gmail.com.
And patreon.com/There's No Place Like Terra. Rate us, like us, review us on Apple Podcasts.
So, see you next time. Bye.
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 That was fun.